think a lot of people expected to see Hero in the final series of the day.
Right.
That means tournament life is on the line.
Huck, I mean, I think less of it was Hero, you know, he opened up playing a little shaky, but I think he really solidified his game after he played a couple games. But Huck was just playing so incredibly well. And it's the best Huck that I've seen since I can remember, honestly. Probably since like the old MLGs back in 2012.
The
really
ones that Huck were winning.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was awesome to see Huck do so well. Our very first North American that we are welcoming to our studios here in Rancho Cucamonga. I'm excited to see Huck again, and I'm also excited to see our final series of the day. Will Hero just do what everyone expects him to do? What I guess, you know, what we perhaps expect as well, because Hero was the favorite, at least for me, for this group. I even said I think Hero is one of the 4 favorites to take home the entire tournament, as you know, if you play that well at the Inter Extreme Masters in Cologne, if you play that convincing against the absolute best players in the world, then you have to be one of the favorites for America as well.
Yeah.
But we've seen it happen last week with Jaedong. It doesn't really matter how impressive your resume is. You can still be eliminated.
Those were some crazy games. And honestly, from Hero's perspective, we haven't seen anything too different in that regard. Like, Hero being in the final match here, with how he was playing against Protoss earlier, I wouldn't have been if he had been facing off against Top. That's a matchup that, one, we've seen him be shaky in, and his matches versus Top were really, really close, to the point where Top was almost going to win, as we were talking about earlier. Against Xigua, this is one of the matchups where Hero really shines. So I think Hero stands a better chance than if he were facing off against Top. And as you're saying, he's an incredibly strong player, but we've been talking about it earlier. There's no walkovers in this group, and I think we're up for a good match.
Yeah, Xigua looked really strong and impressive against Top. Now, Hero and Top are 2 polar opposites. They might play the same race, but everything else is just complete polar opposite. They don't play the same at all. Everything about them is different. They're different styles, rely on different strengths, just probably even see the matchup completely different as well. So it's very fun how in StarCraft people often ask, what's your best matchup, what's your weakest matchup? But I think sometimes it's so hard to answer, because you can play against 2 players that play the same race, but you might do very well against one, and you might just do terrible against the other. It's like when you play PvT, you know, like one guy might go bio, the other go mech. It's the same race that you're playing against, but it requires a completely different mindset and skill set.
Yeah, it's if you hit me on ladder, build tanks. I can deal with Widowmines for days. I just use the DRG method. Remember when he hit GSL and people were like, DRG just beat innovation? What? And he kind of made that, hey, send your Lings and Banes in really small groups and use immunities to clean up Widowmines. The day I realized that, completely changed my game. But then you make tanks, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do anymore.
Well, we are working on the map videos right now, guys. So as soon as our first map is up, we'll get invited to the game lobby, and we'll let you guys know. If I have to make a prediction about the map, I think the first map will most likely be, I guess it could be Habitation Station. It could also be Polo Night. I would like to see Frost. I would love to see Hero play a long game against Zerg on Frost. I feel it's a map where he often is able to showcase how good he really is and all the amazing stuff that he likes to do at the same time.
Yeah, that would be a really great match to see. I like how Xigua just makes insane amounts of units and doesn't necessarily tech up when he gets into the later stages. Like, if you can play skilled Mutalist Corruptor play for an extended period of time, it can make for some really exciting games, but you do have to get that economic damage in that we were talking about in this series versus Huck. Otherwise, the Protoss player is kind of just going to snowball, because they're able to tech up freely, where you're kind of trapped on tier 2, and there's that window that they're able to hit, where they may otherwise not have been able to do if they had taken damage.
Either way, our game invites are out. The first map will be played on Polar Night. We just saw Xigua play an excellent game on Polar Night. Once more, Hero is going to most likely play very different, though, than Top. Either way, I'm excited for it. Like, I'm still kind of calm, because I still feel that, you know, this is Hero, and both players are just spamming like mad, by the way. A lot of people like to spam a little bit in the game lobby, but I've never seen anything like that. That was like a slot machine. That's how quick it was spinning around. Both players just spamming I don't know, 400 APM in the game lobby. Our poor admin had no idea what's happening. He's not that familiar with these StarCraft players, so he's like, broken? What are they doing? Should I rehost? It's like, no, it's okay. we can start. Final game of the day is live, or at least our final series of the day. Invictus Gaming's Xigua, is he for the first time ever going to make it to the WCS America round of 16? His teammates have done it. They probably told him that it's awesome, because I think both Jim and Max had an excellent time over here. It would be great news. He's, of course, Invictus Gaming's Xigua. I already said it, but I want to say it again. Because that's how cool he is.
Been there. Yep. And his opponent in the top left-hand corner of the map. From Team Liquid, it's Hero. Arguably one of the top 4 in America, but right now he's battling for his tournament life in the WCS for Season 1. Could you even believe it if Hero was knocked out in the very first round?
Well, you know, it happened in WCS America Season 2 in 2013. And that was a really big upset back then. I think if I recall correctly, he lost against Scarlet, but he also lost... Oh yeah, and he lost against Oz. Oz kind of like his nemesis in 2013. Defeated him at IM Shanghai, defeated him in the playoffs of WCS America Season 3. However, that's PvP, this is PvZ. It would be something, but I hope for Hero it's not going to happen. And I think back then it was even still Wings of Liberty. No, that doesn't sound right. Never mind, it was harder to swarm. But
it would be very exciting for Xigua at the same time, though. If he were to able to 2-0 top and manage to take out Hero after going down to Huck, who's managed to make it out of the group, be nothing short of astounding for his career.
Yeah, it would be fantastic. It would definitely be something new. It would also be awesome for us that for the first time ever we would be able to see Xigua here, which always should create some funny moments. And you know, it was like when we met Jim and Maxet. We never realized how funny they were.
Yeah.
Apparently, like Froden told me that Maxet is super funny, but just in Chinese, because Maxet is a little shy, but whenever he's talking Chinese, he's talking so much smack on Jim that it's like absolutely hilarious. Froden was translating some of the stuff that Maxet was saying. It was very fun.
Yeah, I mean, the interviews alone kind of painted a picture into that. So.
Yeah, that's what we always try to do, showcase a little bit the personality of these players and try to have a lot of fun with them. And hope that they have fun as well, because of course some of them are like, you know, the super focused and only dedicated to the game, but there are also still some guys out there who are just excited to travel, because that's what esports is all about. Yeah. Of course, winning a lot of money is absolutely awesome, but there are also still some dudes who are like, hey, I earned myself a trip to Southern California. That's amazing. Like, time to enjoy life.
Yeah, you know, you say that you try to do that a little bit, but I think you guys succeed in doing that a lot. You really you get to know a lot of these players really well, and it's one of the my most favorite things about WCS America. Liquid Hero, guys, is getting his scout on. He's going to see the natural, head over to the third, and there's not going to be anything there. But there's nothing really wonky going on from Xigua right now. He's just waiting, probably till 28 supply or so, to go and take that third. It's a real standard timing. You can opt to... it's even too late for him to drop his gas, so that drone should be heading over any second.
Similar opening over here for Xigua, going for that 2-hatch before gas build, and will most likely delay his circling speed for a long time, / he's not even going to take it at all. I'm sure that Hero has been watching those previous games though. He's probably keeping a close eye on Xigua throughout the entire day, and he probably thought like, you're kind of greedy, man. Because if Hero would be able to get a few stocks out, and by the way, 3 gateways going up right now, so he already had 1. Hero is just going to put on some 4-gate aggression. This excites me, by the way, Kibbles, because I have been doing this quite often, but then often I do it against 2-base Zergs who skip gas. If they go 3 bases, I almost don't see a way how Xigua will be able to keep this hatch alive. However, if Hero makes a lot of units, okay, 18 slow Zerglings on the way, he scouts us in time. There is a chance, because I don't like this positioning actually that much of this pylon. The true power for Hero would be to get 3-4 Stalkers out, because those Stalkers can kite the Zerglings for days. However, if he's just going to wipe in Zealots, it doesn't really matter whether or not the Zerglings have speed, because, you know, Zerglings are still going to fight the Zealots, whether they have speed or not. Yeah. So I actually don't like this, how this is going that much for Hero. Is he going to warp? This is kind of bad for our Hero, I think. He's going
he opts to warp him in. I actually thought that maybe Hero would just forego the attack here, but he's going to go for it. And yeah, if he can get a second round of warp-ins, maybe.
Exactly. Let's not forget that these queens are very far away from creep, so these queens are definitely committed here a little bit. Here come more Zealots being warped in. Now Zealots are extremely good, but they do not have +1. Time warp goes down. Where are the Zerglings, Xigua? Where are the Zerglings? Well, the Zerglings were way out of position.
Oh, they were actually going for a pylon up top, but 2 queens get picked off consequently.
Okay, that changes everything though.
Well, if he can get the Mothership Core with the 3rd queen via Hero making a mistake, it may pan out for him, but I agree. This is a really good position now for Hero, I believe.
with those, like 3 queens and Zerglings should be able to trade very well against Zealots over 4-gate. But not, you know, if you just sacrifice 2 queens. And again, a queen is a little bit exposed. The Zealot count is climbing at rapid speed, by the way. We're looking at 13 Zealots right now. This is a big commitment for Hero, but it's also a commitment that's going to pay for itself. These queens are also trapped. There is no creep connecting the bases.
Kevin, I want to point out that back at home, Xigua actually hasn't dropped any gases yet. He's just continuing to churn out lings.
I mean, he knows, like, if he stabilizes from this, he's gonna have a lot of time to stabilize for the rest of the game. It's a lot of queens now, though. It's still 4 queens, but there are so many Zealots. What is going on?
The Zealots are winning, it looks like, on the top half and even on the bottom half. And this is what I'm afraid of, is with no gas and the fact that Hero just won this fight, even though he loses his Mothership Core, he may actually be able to push with momentum here for the win, because there's nothing that can kill Zealots except Zerglings, which all just died. And they took a long time to make that many.
I felt that Xigua had the pieces in the right place to defend this. He's actually getting a beautiful surround here on a few of these Zealots, and he will be able to pick those off without losing too many Zerglings. He's not giving up just yet. He still has 16 Zerglings. He still has these 2 queens. He has produced so many queens already. And all of these Zealots are so low on HP right now that actually he is going to be able to save this hatchery. At least that's kind of what it looks like right now. But this must have been like his last inject. So how many Zerglings will he be able to produce after this? Well, does it really matter? Wow, he's going to clean this up. He holds against 13 Zealots.
Can we say, but at what cost? Because there are 26 drones on the field right now to 41 probes. Yeah. So about double the workers, a little less than double the workers for our Protoss. But admittedly, yeah, he holds on to the 3rd base, and well, he's only got 1 queen left.
Yeah, I mean, at rapid speed, he's going to be able to recover, though. However, it's going to be extremely important for Xigua that he scouts this Stargate. If he sees that, he will be able to drop a spore in 1 base, and that's going to save the life of 6, 7, 8 probes, or drones, excuse me. That's going to be so important. If he doesn't see it, you know, he has 1 queen per base at best. This Oracle is going to have an absolute field day. It's going to fly in. Oh, Zerglings, do see it.
All right, so here's the attack. You know what? He starts dropping spore crawlers immediately. So he'll be well to this.
Oracle is heading to the main base. Still, though, with 1 queen and 1 spore only halfway down, this Oracle is still able to kill 6, 7 drones if he pays attention. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, with 2nd queen there as well. Actually, only 4 drones went down. That's not all that bad. 9 more drones on production depth. That's going to bring both players even in workers. Good job there by Xigua, having those Zerglings on the other side of the map.
Yeah, he gets the scouting information, reacts to that great, and minimal damage from that. Actually, with Hero not making anything else out of that, I mean, that was not very cost effective for Hero. He invested in the Stargate and into the Oracle. Maybe if you account for the spore crawlers, you know, that could maybe even it out some.
We're looking at a really interesting game right now. Void Ray is just going to hunt some Overlords down left and right. Templar Archives is being wiped in the main base. Just now the layer is going down. If you just tune in, you're probably wondering like what on earth is going on. This is like an 11-minute and 50 seconds layer. Well, that's what happens when like 9 queens and 52 slow Zerglings without speed fight 13 Zealots and a Mothership Core. Yeah. Then somehow we find ourselves in this situation.
Okay, but there's 114 units lost already. They were all slowlings and queens. A couple turns.
I mean, the economy for Xigua is going to be great. Is Hero going to fire this, follow this up with a big 2-base play? Right now it looks like he wants to go up to 3 bases. If he does that, I actually think that this might be good for Xigua, because that means he is going to have time to maybe get Roach Speed, Hydralisk, Mutalisk, whatever he wants to make. He's going to get time to do it, and he's going to be able to do that off the back of a great economy. 69 drones at the moment.
Yeah, really. All right, so the Slowlings are kind of poking around right now. There's a wall of Zealots, though, at the front, so they're not going to be able to get in.
Hydralisk being wiped in. Robo is being wiped in. Hydralisk being morphed in, of course. Would be really sick if Zerg could warp in stuff. Probably the day I switch to Zerg,
actually,
guys.
just so you know.
How does Zerg warp?
You'd neural parasite a probe, build a Nexus, build a gateway, research Cybercore, get your...
Can you then warp in roaches? No, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I love what Hero's doing here.
Yes,
yes, Hero is going up to 3 bases, but he is still using the very few units that he has, because he's probably like, my opponent probably went full on crazy on the drones. That is correct, Hero. However, he has to keep this pylon alive. That's exactly what he does. Good fortitude there. Yep. He's also using Envision. The roaches might be enough to clean it up, but he doesn't have roach speed just yet.
Yeah, he's actually only got 6 on the field. I'm really worried about the rally points, that these aren't going to all fight together at the same time.
Oh, that's a great attack by Hero. It's so sick how these Protoss phases always find these windows that somehow work for them. Like if he sits back a little longer, this is really not all that amazing for him. Good drone positioning over there by Xigua. He's trying to do the best he can, but he has nothing to deal with his Void Ray, and so many charge bolts are streaming in.
Yeah, the Oracle just slaughtering units on the ground. A second Archon arriving. And it was really great drone control here from Xigua, but ultimately I just do not think it's going to be enough. There's too many units here in the natural expansion.
What a great sort of like anti-timing there for Hero in between the phase where his army gets so much stronger from, you know, from being a 2-base Protoss to, you know, not really having anything to, you know, now I'm almost a 3-base Protoss and I have charge, and then he just goes for it.
Yeah.
The way that like this game unfolded, it makes sense, but you have to be a fantastic player like Hero to feel that this is possible, because he didn't even have that much scouting information. He sent the Oracle in, he saw the layout, okay, it's late, but still, what if this